Hey, looks like we're live. Oh. All right, I'm going to start my Zoom up here. Hey, hello. Oh, Alexa, turn work area off.
There we go.
That's better. Hey, Jeff.
How you doing?
Great. How are you?
Good.
Well, you're kind of hot. Your sound's loud, but that's probably me, so I'll adjust.
Well, let's see here.
Yeah. Let's turn this down. I don't want to need to see that. I don't need to hear about the meeting. I know about the meeting. Let's close Outlook. Yeah. Well, what's been up, Jeff?
Nothing. We just watched. Well, we watched Biden's press.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then
Saw a small amount of that.
yeah, watched saw comments and stuff. And did you watch it?
Yeah, I saw some of it. I didn't see the whole thing.
Yeah, that was pretty pathetic.
I saw the highlights afterwards.
Yeah, there weren't really any highlights.
The lowlights, I think, maybe
Lowlights,
better described.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nick told me all about it. He watched it.
Did he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did Nick catch the part where? Let me get back on here. The one reporter was asking about something, and then his second question was about gun control. It starts asking Biden about gun control, blah, 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 blah. Biden's answer had nothing to do with gun control. It was all about infrastructure.
Yeah.
And he starts talking about roads and bridges. And I'm looking at Ginger and did we hear that right? And so I went back, I listened to the guy's question again. I mean, it was incredible.
Yeah,
like
that's a normal tactic, though. That's like redirection.
Well, his boss, I think what it was, he's got the book in front of him. He's got a list of the 10 reporters.
Yeah, that's true. That's right. I saw that on Twitter. They had the picture on Twitter. You can see he marked them. They actually had a note on there which one to call first, second, third, fourth.
Yeah, and he knows their question and what they're going to ask.
Jim's with us. Hello, Jim. Okay, Jim. Obviously,
hey.
TV, okay, W6OH. Hello.
Hello.
You guys are amateur radio TV people.
Yep.
Okay.
Jim is KC6JPG in Boulder, Colorado.
Oh, excellent. Excellent.
Oh, Jim.
Nice to meet you, Jim. And then W6OH. Mario. Oh, yeah. Okay. I should recognize that call sign. Yeah. I don't recognize the face, though. Hello, Mario.
Hi.
First time I've seen him.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we start half an hour early just to have time for everybody to kind of join in. So we don't have too much to talk about other than just BSing or whatever. And I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be good.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yeah. something I've never really. I mean, I've heard about it all, throughout my amateur radio career, but never really got much of interest into it. But
Well, it's kind of lunatic fringe of ham radio.
right. When I used to live in Orange County, and I know they had an amateur radio repeater or something on
Yeah.
Saddleback,
Oh,
Santiago
Jim
Peak.
on the presentation.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, Jim's part of it, I think.
Yeah. Where do you live in Orange County, Jim?
No, he doesn't live in Orange County.
I live in Boulder, Colorado.
He lives in Colorado.
Colorado. Oh, yeah. I forgot this is Zoom.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple of fellows from the Los Angeles area and one from Phoenix area that'll be joining. It's basically a presentation that was given for the QSO Today Ham Exposition Expo
Oh, okay.
a couple of weeks ago.
It's going to be Roland that gives the presentation. Roland
No.
Hoffman. No.
I think Roland is your key contact at this
Okay.
point.
Okay.
But I think they plan to play about a half-hour video that was presented at the Ham Expo and then
Oh, okay.
follow up with question and answers after that.
Sounds good.
So basically, the video included all four of us, and we're in the.
Am I going to run into problems if it's on YouTube? If this is on YouTube? As far as the video and rights or anything like that, do you know? No? Okay. It's no big deal. Worst case, they'll strike
Yeah,
it.
I didn't hear the question.
Okay. Yeah, it's just I'm actually, this is being live streamed on YouTube as well. And I was just wondering if the video is something that might be in any way copyrighted.
Yeah.
You don't know? Do you know about that? No. Okay. I won't worry about it. If something happens, it happens. I'm not a big YouTuber, so we had one strike because we played a video from YouTube that was like, it wasn't really a strike. It was a warning because we played a video that was about KFI radio station or something. I don't remember. This is over a year ago, and or about a year ago, when we first started doing our meetings on YouTube, as well as Zoom. So,
Well, maybe you can approach that subject with Roland
Okay.
or Rod when they come on.
okay.
As an alternative, I have a video that I made up a year ago. It runs for about 45 minutes on the same subject, but it's totally my own.
I actually could bring down the YouTube stream too, because that's not as important as our meeting. So it's not, that's kind of a secondary thing. We have other ways we can make the video available for the club if we can't put it up on YouTube. So I will ask Rod. Oh, I see Flip's here. I hear Flip's here.
Hey, hi guys, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Hi, Flip.
Hi guys, how's the audio? Is it okay?
Yeah.
I hear the squeal.
Dave, I'm convinced it's between your ears.
No, I just my hearing is good. That's all.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely
I
right.
actually I can hear high frequencies.
Yeah, okay. And Jeff, it sounds okay to you?
Yeah, you sound good.
Okay, fine. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Does anybody else hear the squeal? Okay, just want to make sure.
Anyway, how's everybody doing?
I'm good. We're looking forward to this presentation.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So we got another 20 minutes here.
What's most of the bands? I'm sure we'll find out later. But
Oh, that they use. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
used.
What would? Is it above 440 or?
Very
is
good
it,
question. Jim, can you help us with that? What bands are we using on amateur television now?
Well, everything from 70 centimeters on up to through all the microwave bands.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Cool.
Makes sense. You
Yeah.
need a lot of bandwidth, so you're going to use the higher frequencies.
And I guess the second question, Jim, just for my own input, is: Are they putting video and audio through repeaters for amateur TV?
Yes.
Oh, very good.
As a matter of fact, there in Southern California, you have our biggest network of linked TV repeaters. There's several of them in Southern California, and they link over to Las Vegas and,
wow.
and all the way over to Phoenix and Tucson.
Wow.
Cool.
Does that include San Diego Peak? Is that,
think so.
am I right about that? Because I remember hearing somebody told me that once.
Yeah,
It might be obsolete information.
yeah. As part of their video, they will show a map showing.
Okay. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mentioned that before because, like I said, I'd heard it before, but that was many years ago. So
Yeah.
I know things change, but we get pretty good access to San Diego Peak from Banning.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
Well, it's a straight shot.
It's a straight shot. It's a long ways, but it's a straight shot. And it works well.
Yeah.
Well, I have actually been to Banning once many years ago. I had a uncle and aunt that retired from Kansas out there and lived in Banning.
A lot of retirement people out here, just like
Yeah,
Palm Springs.
Yeah, you spent a year here one night, right, Jim?
Yeah. Oh, come on, Flip.
No, I'm kidding. I live in Banning. Come
Yeah, he
on.
lives in Flip. A lot of our members are in Banning, many in Beaumont, and then the surrounding areas.
What was the net last night?
Even Hammett.
Yeah.
OH is here. He's all
Jim, I
right.
just got through reading your bio on
QRZ.
QRZ. Impressive.
Which one are you? Who are you talking to, Jim?
Jim, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe I'll look him up.
How'd you like living over in Maui?
Ah,
Great. Actually, we gave that up about a year and a half ago, but it was the issue. The final deciding issue became the lack of quality medical care on the island.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had some issues and had a bad experience in the emergency room there, and so
It's got to be great for amateur radio.
yeah. But on the medical care issue, if you lived in Honolulu, that would be the same as like living in Los Angeles with
Right.
big, well-equipped hospitals and so forth. But if you lived on the other islands,
it's a little
a
sketchy.
lot of times for just even minor things, they would say, go to Honolulu or go to California for care.
Oh,
Wow.
that's an expensive ambulance ride between islands, I'd imagine.
Yeah, well, it's not like just jumping in the car and
No.
Yeah.
driving down to San Diego or over to Palm Springs or whatever.
And Jim, that's a little as of a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Wow. I would expect they have come up the curve a little bit more, but maybe not.
That has to do with population, I'm sure. It's what you
Yeah,
can.
well, the population of the island was about 125,000.
Yeah, it's a lot of people.
And they would
There's a
say,
lot of people.
maybe at one time there might be 40,000 tourists on the island.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people. Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
For that island. Yeah.
I guess they can have the San Gorgonio Memorial Hospital. I don't know how many people there are in Banning and Beaumont, but I don't think it's 120,000.
No.
Well, we had a ham club there on Maui, but typically at most we'd have maybe about 15 members show up for a meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's not too bad. You only had one club, though, huh? The whole island? I guess it makes
Yeah.
sense. 120,000 people. Yeah.
Hi, Sam.
Evening, gentlemen. Jeff.
Hi, Sam.
Good evening, Sam. How the heck are you?
Doing quite well, thank you. How about yourself there, old 66?
Same old, same old. In fact, I'm 73 going on 66, Sam.
Well, I got 10 on your first number, and 66
Wow.
would still be a good number.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, you're a fantastic 10 number ahead of me. If I'm that good, when I hit that 10 number mark above me, then I'll be happy.
That's right. That's right. Every day's an outlook.
That's right. Absolutely.
And then there's DJ.
DJ here. Hi, DJ.
Hello.
EJ, you always look like you're in inner sanctum, some mad scientist lab.
Well, hello there, young fella.
I'm fine. Did you get the email from from Jeff? Did you try clicking on it? Try rebooting your computer and doing it again. No, still got a few minutes. Give that a try. Give that a try first. Okay, bye. Bye. That was one of our members who couldn't get into Zoom. Tina, she's going to reboot her computer and try it again.
Well, Flip and I are the same age as Mario.
Oh, hi, Mario.
How you doing, Mario?
Real good. Glad to be
Good to see
able
you.
to join you guys.
Well,
Glad you could make it.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's nice to put a face to the name. It's
That's
very,
what I
very
said
nice.
earlier.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pleasure
I
to
figured
meet
out
you,
what
Mario. Very
figured
nice.
out what Zoom was. I always thought that Zoom was a button on my old TV remote control.
Good point.
That's a good button.
Is it cold over there, Mike? You got your sweater
Cold
on.
everywhere.
Yeah, it's getting colder.
Mike, you got a sweater on in the house?
Yeah.
You can't
Yep.
afford heat?
You know, it's been darn cold for the last few days.
It has.
It's really chilly out right now tonight. It's very
I know. I
chilly.
went out there to try to get the mail. There was nothing in the box, and
Wow.
it was 50 degrees outside. It could feel
Yeah.
every second. I should probably put pants on, but what the heck?
I mean, we're into spring. We're into spring already. You know.
Yeah.
Put his kilt back into the closet.
44 degrees here.
Jeez.
Oh, it's 44 already. See, it was 51, like I said, when I went out there at about 4
Yeah.
o'clock.
But the wind's only a couple, 2-3 miles an hour. That's a break.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true. It's a lot worse when it's windy.
That cold gets a knife in it.
It's only 50 here in Hemet.
You know, I don't remember it being this cold last year this time.
I don't either. I don't think it was, Flip.
I don't think so either.
Things change. Weather's variable.
Yeah, exactly.
It might have been as cold, but I think part of the problem now is we're seeing less sun this year.
True. Yeah, good point. Good point.
Yeah, it's a lot. There are definitely more clouds. This month was crazy.
Yeah.
But we still have a La Nina.
I didn't notice. I guess if I was out in the ocean, maybe.
Hey, Jim, I was going to ask you, with a KH6 call, where are you living now? Obviously not in Hawaii anymore, right?
Boulder, Colorado.
Oh, you're up in Boulder. Okay.
And actually, I was not a permanent resident in Hawaii. I was a snowbird.
Oh,
Yeah.
So we've spent about 6 months of the year out on the island of Maui, and then the other 6 months here in Boulder, Colorado.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Very good. Very good.
And poor Jim, he's had to explain that he lives in Boulder 3 times now.
Okay.
It's okay.
Well, at least he don't look like he's been shot up.
Yeah, right.
No, no, that's
Exactly.
your boy. Yeah. Sometimes,
Yeah, or-
unfortunately, cities become famous over the worst things.
Yeah, you don't want to go to a movie in Boulder, that's for sure.
Oh God, that's right. I forgot about that. Was that in
Yeah,
Boulder
I
too?
did
That was Aurora.
That was Aurora.
Yeah, that's true. That was Aurora.
But
Yeah.
that's where they started out, was in Colorado, it seems like, with,
Yeah.
I've been there,
High
so I
school.
know that they're not close together.
Yeah. Yeah.
because I worked west of Denver. I worked with the fire department out there for off and on for a couple of years.
Oh, really? They had you go over there for training or something?
I was their management software,
Oh, that's right. You told me about
sold and
that.
maintained and trained.
You did training on software. I forgot about that.
That was a hell of a gig.
That's why you have that computer experience, though, Sam. Otherwise, you wouldn't have. So, believe me, I know. I help people around here all the time that have zero computer experience, and it's helpful just to have plunked away with one, years ago, because that makes you less frightened of the modern stuff. Anyway.
Well, I got into computers and my damn kids were talking stuff and I didn't understand them. Said DOS and path. And what the hell are you talking about? So I took a couple of classes over there at the Crafton Hills and became a network supervisor.
Oh, okay.
Here's our presenter, Roland Hoffman.
Hello, how are you?
Hi,
There's
Roland.
Roland.
Hey, Roland, how are you? Good.
I'm doing good, sir. How are you?
Good. We're all good. We're all good. Anxiously waiting.
Very
Yeah.
good. Well, are you guys participating in the last man standing and ending basically QSO with a bang?
No, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah.
I saw that, but I haven't looked it up yet. Last Man Standing. I forget what the station call sign is, but that's with Tim and the boys over there. And I understand it was the director who wanted to have photo shots with the ham radio gear in there and so forth.
Exactly. And as a matter of fact, we're pretty active right now with the Amateur Television Network in regards to Last Man Standing. We are a special event station.
Wow.
All right.
And of course, the call sign is KA6LMS, Last Man Standing.
Last LMS.
And so for those that are familiar with what we call the Clean Sweep Bonus Certificate, I am a KM6 call. I am a 1x1. And so for those that are like keeping logs, I can definitely check you guys in with a K6M call. So if you are after the clean sweep, and definitely check you in on video.
Is that a club call? It's your call? Your personal call?
My call is KC6JPG. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to adjust my, I'm going to rename myself here.
You've got JPG, huh?
Yes, I
Wow.
do. JPEG.
JPEG, man.
That's why I had that call since my novice
I think
days.
I saw that on your email, and I didn't even faze me. That's weird.
And so it's funny because I'm an extra class, and I said to myself, should I get a vanity call? Should I change my call? I'm like, nah, JPEG is kind of fitting with pictures and motion.
I'm the
JPEG
same.
and all that. So I'm going to keep it. For a lot of my other ATV friends, like WA6SBT, that's my callist. He'll be joining us later on after the presentation, after the video part, when we do our Q&A.
Okay.
And of course, SVT, Serious Video Technician.
Wow, there you go. There you go. Sounds good.
So yes, and so yeah, so right now on our IP network, our ATN IP network, which is whereby.com/ATN1, you'll be seeing some activity from the Last Man Standing station.
Okay.
So they're all popping in and watching them operating, and when they have a free moment, then they can get on camera and basically talk about their station. And the people at the studio, the big event will be this weekend. And so the people in the studio has a monitor with YouTube on it, and then they're monitoring our station. So, which is really, really cool. So they'll be monitoring you all. So
Great.
you'll be seen on stage at the Last Man Standing studio set.
Wow. I thought it was very clever during one of the episodes when Tim's daughter, Baxter's daughter, was down in the basement operating ham radio, talking to the boss of the hunting lodge, if you will, over in some place, everything else. But there was some good shots of equipment, good shots. I mean, and even the protocol that she used was pretty close. It wasn't really bad. It was nicely done.
Very good. Yep.
Hey,
You know,
Roland,
it's funny.
Oh.
Yes, go
a
ahead.
quick question. I've got, right now we're streaming on YouTube as well, just so you know. Is that going to be an issue with your video?
No, that's
As
not
far
going
as
to be an issue at all.
copyrights or anything? Okay.
Not an issue. This
Just
is
wanted to try to clear it just to make sure.
not a problem.
Okay.
No,
Cool.
this is for public. For obviously we use this for presentation. We're going to be making a link video, all repeater video.
All
And
right.
of course, we're in a very exciting transition right now because our big talk is going to be about digital amateur television. So,
Right.
and of course,
Cool.
most of our repeaters on the amateur television network are still analog coming out, whether it be FM with 5910 FM or on VSB 1253.25. And so right now the majority says, I want digital. I want 6 megahertz bandwidth. And this is kind of like the prayers have been answered. I've been telling Mike, and Mike's been an analog guy. I get it. You know, I was raised analog too. You know, I've been in broadcast since 1987. But when the world is just basically about to go into 4K with ATSC 3.0, and we're still in standard definition, we're never going to attract people. And so now we have 20 brand new receivers that are going to be ordered, from our membership, which is great. And this is a blessing in disguise for sure. So look, we're going to start making our transition around May, June. We're going to start with Mount Wilson, and then Santiago Peak,
Excellent.
and Snow Peak over in the Coachella Valley / Palm Springs area.
Oh, yeah, no, that's close to us, obviously.
Yeah, and that's fully digital already. So we're
Right.
outputting 1240. Center channel.
The email again for the meeting.
Okay.
I
Tim?
cannot get in.
I'll send you.
I sent it out twice.
I'll send it to you again,
Okay,
Tina.
I'll try it again. Thanks.
I'll send it to her. I'll send it to you.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.
How you doing, Earl? Edie? Top of the,
Was that your radio, Jeff? Is that what that was?
Tina was calling. She
Did you have your radio on? Is that how she got
lost
through?
the link somehow, so I'm going to resend
I was
it.
just wondering how she managed to come in.
Yeah.
You had your radio on, I guess.
Oh, here we go again.
Top of the evening to you, Steve.
All right.
Hey, good evening, all.
Hi, Steve.
Thank you.
Hey, Steve, how you doing?
I think Earl came in too, by the way. Hi, Earl. I don't know. Some other people may have come in. And Edie,
Yeah,
of course.
where are you, Dave? Are you on the flight deck?
I'm on the Enterprise, as usual. I'm the captain of the ship.
Well,
Right.
Captain Kirk just turned 90, so that should tell you something.
Holy
there you go.
cow.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's on Twitter too. He's active. He's an active
Yep.
little guy.
Okay, I got to do a little bit of a hookup. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Me too. 3.
Okay, so guys, I'm gonna have everybody mute yourselves during the presentation.
Yeah.
And let's see, is it 7 o'clock yet? Not quite. All right.
Not quite.
And we're not going to worry about attendance, because I think what I'll do is I'll go through and look at the video after it's over, and we'll count people that way. Because it was so difficult, it seemed time consuming to try to do that.
Yeah, agreed.
But maybe we will do the Pledge of Allegiance, even though that's also difficult. It's not very time consuming.
There's the flags.
You got a flag for us, Steve?
Hello.
No, Jeff is.
Oh, Jeff has his flag.
Okay, I just sent it.
Oh, there you
Okay,
go.
I tried it. For some reason, I cannot get in. I just have but I'll try again this last time you sent. There must be something wrong in this end.
I wish
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Jeff.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
that was a phone. Okay. Oh, poor 14, I can't get in. Jeez.
Yeah, she's still having trouble.
Yeah, does SPARC have any members under 60 years old?
Oh, that's mean. Yes, we have DJ.
DJ.
And I don't know, we have a couple. We have a
Mario,
Randy.
Mario,
Yeah,
the
Randy.
the counter question to that is mentally or physically?
Yeah, there you go. It's
Either
all
or.
relative. It's all relative.
All relative.
How many of us mentally are still 16?
Oh, everybody.
That's me.
Everybody, we're all here.
I expect everybody to raise your hand because if you're an
That's
amateur
right.
radio operator, we're mentally 16.
That's right. That's right.
There you go.
That's
I
right.
love that.
Let me ask you a question. Who's the oldest ham here, licensed for how many years? Not
Uh-oh.
me.
Not that.
Who's got it? Who's got it?
Probably Mike.
Well, wait a second. It wasn't.
You
Oh,
talking
no.
about the ones on Zoom?
I'm talking
Yeah.
about just this group
Just
right
here
now.
on Zoom. Okay. Ed's with us. Okay. Ed, Vice President Ed's here.
How many years, Sam?
How many
Hey,
years?
3.
How
Oh, you
much?
mean as an operator?
Ham radio, yeah. He's
So
not.
license-
No. I'm a newbie.
He's not that.
Oh,
He's a
okay.
newbie. Look at this call sign.
They had to wait. They had to wait till they dropped code before I
How
could
about
become
Steve?
ham.
Steve, when did you get your license?
In 1992.
That's not that long ago.
Okay,
That's when I got mine.
I'm going to take the cake here. How about 1959, 61 years?
Is that you, Flip?
Huh?
You're 69?
No,
Oh.
no, I'm 73, but I've been licensed since 1959 for
Oh,
a total of 61
wow.
years.
Oh, you are? Okay, I didn't know that. Very good.
I didn't either till I looked it up the other day.
7 o'clock.
Yeah, okay, let's go. All right, guys, thanks for everybody showing up. This is the general meeting of the San Gorgonio Pass Amateur Radio Club. I'm Dave, KD6JPG. I'm the president of the club, and we're going to have a very special presentation. If we could have,
The red thing?
yeah, we're going to have a lot
It's
of.
not out here.
We're going to mute people as they need to be muted. Okay. And so let's just real quick, we're going to do things upside down again like we did recently with, I think, last meeting, as a matter of fact, because we have a presenter who's going to give us a video, and it's all about amateur television. So we're going to do that basically first. And first thing we're going to do is a Pledge of Allegiance. So this is a group effort. I'm going to unmute Roland since I muted him. This is a group effort, and if anybody wants to participate can. You don't have to, obviously. But, and George isn't here, or I'd ask him to start, because he traditionally starts our pledge. How about Sam? Can you do it, Sam? Can you unmute for us and start the pledge? We can't hear you, Sam.
Sam, you,
I'm begging him to unmute. Unmute, people. Unmute. Everybody unmute. We want to hear you.
All right.
Just for this part. Okay. You ready, Sam?
Let it begin.
I pledge
I pledge allegiance to the
to
flag
Flag.
of the United States of America and to the republic
which
which
stands
stands one nation
nation
under God, indivisible,
Indivisible,
with
with
liberty
liberty
and
and
justice
justice for all.
It's really pretty simple. So, okay, cool.
Thank you.
We got that done this time. I missed it last time. I didn't want to miss it again. So today we have Roland with us and some other people. Jim and I don't know, I might miss somebody, that are amateur television people. And Roland's going to give us a video, and we're going to do a question and answer session. I think we're going to have other people join us later for the Q&A. And we're going to do that first. After we do the presentation, we're going to have an attendance. I'm going to do the attendance electronically, so we'll skip that. And then we'll have a break, and then we'll go through the regular club stuff, the minutes, treasurer's report, and DJ will talk to us about the regular meeting stuff. So I guess normal upside down schedule. So Roland, How do we do the video? Are you going to send me a link, or just do you want to do it from your side?
We're going to do it on my side.
Okay, so I'll give you
We are ready.
sharing. I'll give you sharing capability, I think, here.
Okay, you don't have to share it. It's just going to go on my presentation screen. So if you go on presentation mode and make sure that I'm pretty much me,
Okay.
myself, and I'm going to punch this. And
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
You should see ATN. Where did it go?
Speaker view, is that what you're talking about?
Okay, hold on
Let
one
me see
moment.
if I can lock you.
Let's see what I need to do here. Okay, I may have to play this through the repeater system. So, because I was hoping to do it on high definition here. So let me do a little thinking here.
No problem.
And because I need to do a capture. Well, yeah, we'll have to do it through the repeater system. So, okie doke. Guys at the repeater won't mind. So, okay, so if you look on your screen, you see where it says W6ATN, Santiago Peak. That is our live repeater. That is our hub system, and that is located up on the Santa Ana mountain range.
Are we supposed to be seeing your screen?
Well, okay, yeah, you just minimize me basically, because I thought I was able to. I thought it was going to be.
Because I haven't seen you. I'm not seeing your screen, so maybe it's my fault.
It's all good. It's all good.
Okay.
Anyway, but no, go ahead and present the W6ATN.
Oh, you wanted to go to the website?
So no.
It's
Okay.
Dave. It's there, but it's just in a small form factor. It's not the full screen.
Yeah. So if you go
Oh,
into
I
the
see. I'm sorry. Okay.
There
I
you
did see
go.
it. I did see it.
You got it.
You're talking
So-
about the amateur television feed. I did see
right.
that.
The amateur television network feed. That is our live feed.
There it
And
is.
Jim,
There it
well, it's great to see you, my friend. Thank you very much for coming
Yes, my
in.
fault. No,
And
I
Mike
got you.
Collis, WA6SVT, wave your hand. There you go. He is the senior engineer for the Amateur Television Network, the man responsible for the Amateur Television Network.
There we go. Sorry.
There you go. And great guy. He works at KCBS. He's up at Mount Wilson as we speak at the KCAL KCBS location.
Great.
And
Wow.
so, his office is quite nice with lots of transmitters.
Look at all
keeping
this
warm.
stuff. Wow, cool. It's like NASA. Okay.
You got it. Okay, so
Okay,
here's what I'm gonna do.
we're gonna go back to-
I'm going to turn on my transmitter, and there you go.
Okay.
There's the amateur television logo. That's my logo right there. That's being generated at the station. And so, without further ado, we're going to go and play the Amateur Television Network's presentation.
Hello, I'm Rod Fritz, WB9KMO from Mesa, Arizona. And I'm one of those hamsters that's going to be showing you our introduction to digital amateur television. The history of television goes back 100 years, and hams were pioneers in the 1920s. And today, we've come a long, long way. Amateur radio operators now use television in digital mode using DVB-T and DVB-S. And we'll be describing that alphabet soup to you a little bit later. TV began with mechanical spinning discs. And that wasn't going anywhere very fast, but it was certainly a big stretch from audio to be able to see things. Then Philo T. Farnsworth developed this little electronic tube camera, and we also have CRTs, so now we can do television with electronics instead of mechanical things. It made a world of difference. And then more recently, we have solid state cameras and flat screen TVs. And finally, we switched from analog television to digital television, and we'll describe a lot about that later. So you'll need this ATV studio equipment in your ham shack. So just a quick review, you're going to need at least one video monitor or a digital TV to watch what's going on. You'll need video sources, at least one camera of a sort, but there are several other options. Lighting is very important so that we can see you and in all of your glory. And most people use computers and software, a software package called vMix, and we'll describe that. Video switch is handy if you have multiple inputs. And the one we like is ATEM Mini. And we'll show you a picture of that. Then we're going to talk about transmitters and antennas and receivers and antennas. And they're a little bit different from other transmitters and receivers that you might be aware of. Video sources include camcorders. You're pretty comfortable with those. For digital, we like HDMI outputs. And webcams. Webcams usually have USB outputs, but usually they're connected to a computer and you can get HDMI output from the computer. Laptops with built-in cameras are pretty slick. Everything's all in one place. You just use the HDMI output on the laptop and away you go. That's what you connect to your transmitter or your switch if you're going to switch different sources. Lighting. Proper lighting is important. You want to make sure you don't have too much black or too much white in the picture. And getting that balance is a little tricky sometimes. The best lighting is usually from 3 lights spaced around the object. And the key light is the one in front. You want it about 30 degrees over your head and forward of you. And then fill lights would be on the side. And they get rid of shadows and give you enough light for a really nice picture. I hope this is working. That's what I have here. Another video source is security cameras, and those are a lot of fun. Another video source is a video phone, and that's kind of nice because they have built-in computers, usually running the Android system. And what's nice about that is that you can bring up things like the mesh network, and then they have HDMI outputs that you can connect to your switch or your transmitter. And another video source that's really handy are video files that you've recorded one way or another. You can just play the files through your computer and output the HDMI into your transmit system. You can select video with a video switch. There are a couple of ways that are commonly done. On the right, you see an ATEM Mini, which is an electronic switch. And a lot of switches will cause delays, but this one is very quick. So we highly recommend this. And that you just plug your HDMI inputs into it. You have an HDMI output then that goes to your transmitter. On the left, you see a screen from a PC. And you do the switching there with your PC using a program called vMix. It's a free program, unless you get really fancy and want a lot of inputs, but you get 4 inputs for free. Highly recommended to try this. And again, the inputs go into your computer one way or the other, and then you use the HDMI output to go into your transmitter system. Thank you. That's all I've got for now. Let's turn it over to Mike Collis, WA6SVT.
Hello, I'm Mike Collis, WA6SVT, and been into amateur television for over 40 years. I guess that makes me an elder. First, we'll talk about comparing the spectrum of a DVB-T narrowband 2 megahertz bandwidth signal versus a 6 megahertz wide residual sideband ATV signal. And screen on the left is 2 megahertz. And as you can see, it has kind of a haystack effect. So you have full power over slightly less than 2 megahertz bandwidth. And in the case of 434 megahertz, we do that so that we stay out of the 432 weak signal and the Oscar satellite band above 435. In the case of the AM signal at 434 megahertz, most of the power is at the visual carrier. Most of the lower carrier is cut off, and then there's an oral carrier at the very far right of the screen, and the little fuzzy stuff in between is the video sidebands. So kind of comparing the analog to digital, let's jump into our next slide, which is a basic DVB-T digital system. We use typically a high definition TV camcorder, or you can use standard definition NTSC and upgrade it. We use a DVB-T exciter modulator, and then we drive a very linear amplifier and then off to our antenna. A receiver for best sensitivity, we recommend a preamplifier followed by a high-des or other brand DVB-T receiver, and then into your high-definition monitor. Our next slide shows a picture of some of the high-des and amplifier equipment. High-des receivers on the left, and on the right is a amplifier by KC6JPG video, and an exciter by high-des, and then a high-definition camcorder. We talked about very linear amplifiers. A good example of that is a high-power version on the left that's good for 10 watts. These are great for your base station, or you can use them for an ATV repeater. If you want to run portable for like ARES or other emergency services, a smaller 3-watt version is a little easier to take, although you can use the high power if you've got room in your backpack or wherever for that. Next slide is analog ATV transceivers and receivers, and there's still quite a bit of analog activity. On the far left is a earlier version of the KC6JPG transmitter using a vestigial sideband exciter embedded in the front panel, and one of his amplifiers all in one case. To the right of that, with the black face, is one of the PC Electronics transceivers. That one's a TC70, I believe. Those are still available on the used market. And then below on the left is an MFJ transmitter, 5 watts maximum peak sync, about 2 or 3 watts average. And to the right of that is a 1 watt AEA transmitter available on the used market. That is a vestigial sideband transmitter. So 2 vestigials, and the other 2, the PC and the MFJ, are full AM. There's no filtering of the lower sideband. If you want to operate or receive ATV on the 23 centimeter band or higher bands, downconverter is typically used. Our example here is the KC6JPG model T3-7, or on the used market with PC Electronics TVC 12S and E. There's 3-4 different versions, both crystal controlled, synthesized, and VFO that Tom had over the years. If you want to extend your range on from simplex to repeater, here's a basic DVB-T repeater. This one's in band, so it's transmitting and receiving within 70 centimeters. And this is one that KC6JPG video can build for you if you'd like it, or you can buy the modules and put it together yourself. Our next slide shows a much larger ATV system. This is part of the Amateur TV network. This is our hub repeater at Santiago Peak. We have a 5910 FM transmitter, a 1253 vestigial sideband transmitter that will soon be switched to DVB-T. It currently has DVB-T on 434, vestigial sideband on 434, and FM input on 2441.5, and a bunch of link radios and voice and control systems. Next slide here, this is a basic map of our link repeater systems in the tri-state area. We also have chapters in other countries. The green lines are the active ones, the red ones are under construction. Sources for equipment. Currently, highdes.com.tw, they're out of Taiwan, and they are ATVers who have a commercial business, and they do They have a modified version of their equipment for ham radio, which is very nice of them. I think KC6JPG.com. He sells the amplifiers that work really well with the high-des equipment. And he also has analog FM, and he can supply the digital sideband exciters as well. He has downconverters and amplifiers. Then we have MFJ.com, and they have just the AM transmitter for the 70 centimeter band. That's it for the equipment. Look forward to answering your questions.
Thank you, Mike. Hello, I'm Roland Hoffman, KC6JPG. I'm the Digital Systems Director for the Amateur Television Network, and I'm also the Net Control Operator for our Southern California and Nevada chapter for ATN. Well, how'd I get started? Well, in 1993, I wanted to watch NASA Select and watch the space shuttle programs while they're on a mission. And I had cable, and I did not have the luxury of having NASA Select, with my cable television service. So I heard that one of the ATV repeaters do transmit the space shuttle program when the shuttles are in a mission. And so I bought a down converter. I got some low loss coax, and I got a beam antenna, and I fixed it towards the direction of Mount Wilson. And as soon as I turned on my down converter and watched it on my TV screen, I saw a guy rocking in a rocking chair, and it had the call signs KA6DPS. And I said to myself, who in the heck is this? And so, of course, there was a 2-meter frequency, 146.43. And I got on my 2-meter radio, and I announced myself. And he said, who that? And I announced myself, KC6JPG. And history was made. Oh, it was, what a ride. Well, every Tuesday evening at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, we host the Amateur Television Network's The Weekly Net. And we get people from not just around our system, around the RF region, but throughout the entire world. It has become an international party, and we invite you to join us. And if you're not within our ATN chapter repeater systems, you can always check in on our Whereby system at whereby.com/ATN1. And so I bet the big curious question you might ask is, how far has an amateur television signal transmitted? Well, I will tell you. Back in 1994, an ATV distance record has been set. Paul, KH6HME, transmitted a beacon signal from high atop Mauna Loa on the island of Hawaii. Now, his signal was first received by Gordon West, WB6 NOA, with a distance of 2,509 miles. And of course, you can see the picture right there on the screen. Now, in regards to digital amateur television, how far has a digital ATV signal been recorded? Well, so far, back in 2014, a distance of 180 miles DVB-T with 2 megahertz bandwidth simplex was successfully received by W8ZCF. Now, how do we measure the signal strength of an ATV signal? Well, you're familiar with the S meter for the voice radios. Well, in the video, we have a different system. We have what we call P units, and a P unit is simply a picture unit. And so when we say P0, well, it's just like the top left of the screen here, where it's just simply all snow. And you can just barely see any kind of resemblance of a picture. P1 is where you start seeing sync bars and some sort of a picture, but it's mostly snow. P2, well, the picture now starts to lock in. You may get some black and white and color, back and forth. P3, color starts locking in, still a lot of snow. P4, picture looks pretty darn good with a little bit of snow in it. And of course, P5 is closed circuit quality. When we get into digital amateur television, well, guess what? Our pictures, when we're locked into the system, well, whether it be a repeater or simplex, well, our pictures are P5, pretty much. And anytime that we're on what we call the digital cliff, well, that's when we'll start seeing some artifacts like tiling and freeze frames. And then once we're beyond the range, then it will just simply just lock up as a freeze frame or no picture at all, like a black picture. The signals that you're looking at on this chart compares between VUSB, or known as vestigial upper sideband, compared with FM modulation and DVB-T QPSK modulation. VUSB, as you can see, you'll start being detected just above minus 100 dBm, and then you'll start getting a closed circuit P5 picture at approximately minus 60 dBm. FM TV, pretty much in the same range, you can get a full closed circuit quality picture at approximately minus 83 dBm. DVB-T, on the other hand, once it receives its signal at approximately minus 98 dBm, and it will lock in, and then you will get pretty much a P5 picture once your signal gets stronger. The United States, the ATV repeaters in the United States, well, we currently have approximately 41 active ATV repeaters throughout the country. 23 repeaters within the country are analog only at this time. And then, of course, 18 of these repeaters are either in the digital mode or what we call mixed modes, where we have digital in with analog out, or analog in with digital out. And, of course, we have what we call full hybrid, which is either analog or digital. 21 of these repeaters have an output on 70 centimeter bands, which that means is if you have a cable-ready television set or a cable-ready box, you can simply hook up a beam antenna directly into the back of your TV set, set it on cable channel 59, and you can receive the 434 input signal, or channel 57 for 426.25. Well, some of you are saying, well, that sounds, a lot of fun, but, I really want to watch ATV without investing in any equipment, or I'm just simply out of a range of an ATV repeater. Well, how can I watch it? Well, have no fear. All you have to do is go to one of the streaming websites that we're constantly streaming our video. For example, the British Amateur Television Club has a streaming system on their website, which is batc.org.uk/live. And you will see a list of amateur television repeaters currently broadcasting or hamcasting live. And you can watch their video on their players. On the Amateur Television Network, we're streaming on YouTube 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And you can watch us and you can chat with us on youtube.com/Amateur Television Network. We're also integrating amateur television into the mesh system. KC6JPG, that's my call sign. I got a streaming system plugged into the Arden Mesh system. So if you go into the Arden Mesh, just find KC6JPG, and you can find a streaming system for the Santiago Peak repeater system, and you can just type in RTSP/W6ATN-stream.local.mesh, and of course the port number 554/live, and you can watch our live signal on the Arden Mesh network. So, big question. Amateur television, what is it used for? Well, that's a big question. Well, 4 big things that happen with amateur television. 1, emergency communications, public service, education, and of course, fun and socializing. Because think about it, amateur television is the original social media network. Emergency communications, well, that becomes huge with the amateur television network system. Most of our repeater system have cameras on top of the repeaters on top of the mountaintops. And so, especially here in California, where wildfires are, quite frequent every year, these cameras have been very, very useful for emergency operations centers through law enforcement and our fire personnel, so they can deploy resources, so they can protect life and as well as property and whatever resources they need to combat the event. This is a typical picture of an EOC center, Emergency Operations Center. And a lot of emergency operations centers do have downconverters or receivers to receive their local amateur television repeater system. And therefore, they'll be able to capture many different events, including watching the wildfires, and so they can deploy resources more effectively. Public service is huge within the amateur television network. We deploy our mobile video truck to many different events to help and engage many different events and help local officials to ensure a successful event, whether it be races, bicycle events, parades, many different events that we serve through our local community. Education is huge with the amateur television network. This is a picture of what we have here is we have Tom, WB6HYH on the camera, and we have Gary, W6KVC, and they're manning the camera and Gary's manning the switcher, the San Bernardino Microwave Society's monthly meeting. They have fantastic topics and to really engage the amateur radio community in the hobby of microwave technology. We also have amateur television equipment on board the International Space Station. Pictured is that blue box is simply a 20-watt DVB-S transmitter, which is located on the International Space Station. In the future, we're going to continue our digital transition for our ATV repeaters throughout the country. IP linking with ATV repeater systems throughout the country and the world so we can communicate with many ATVers from distant places. And of course, communicating with other ATVers throughout the world using other digital modes, including DMR radio, where we have a talk group known as ATV Talk 9410. So we encourage you to plug in our talk group onto your DMR radios. And now I'd like to pass it to Jim Andrews as he'll talk in depth about DVB technology.
Hello, I'm Jim Andrews, KH6HTV, and I live in Boulder, Colorado. The KH6 call, though, is because for the past 18 years, I've been a retired snowbird living on the island of Maui in the Hawaiian Islands during the winter time. So, DVB-T has become the choice for most digital ATV hams in the U.S. And it is, in fact, the broadcast standard used for almost all the rest of the world, with the sole exceptions of the U.S., Canada, Mexico, and South Korea. In this DVB-T, they use either 2,000 or 8,000 closely spaced subcarriers carrying packetized digital data. And it uses three possible modulations: QPSK, which is purely 90-degree phase shifting, or two levels of quadrature amplitude modulation, which is both phase shifting and amplitude modulating. DVB-T includes pilot tones in the 8,000 subcarriers, and the receiver uses these pilot tones to dynamically characterize the channel and determine the channel's impulse response. It then deconvolves out the signal, eliminating these echoes. The echoes would have been seen as ghosts on analog TV. And this system also works extremely well for removing Doppler shift. I, in fact, have driven at over 70 miles per hour down the highway, both transmitting and receiving with DVB-T, and encountered no problems. Whereas with ATSC, any Doppler shift at all and the signal locks up. So what is the differences between these various ones? Well, the biggest difference for us from a ham perspective is the sensitivity of the receiver. With QPSK, we can get down to minus 97 dBm. We lose 5 dB if we go to 16 QAM, and we lose another 10 dB going to 64. If we add a low noise preamp, we can usually buy about another 3 dB in sensitivity over these numbers. And also, if we go to extremely aggressive forward error correction, we can also buy maybe about another 3 dB. If you want to get by really cheap, a USB TV tuner dongle can be had for as low as $10. They're more typically in the $20, $30 range. These are the same dongles that many hams are already using as wideband SDR receivers. However, I caution you, not everybody's been able to get them to work, especially when they've been problematic on Windows 10, and there are issues of bogus drivers out there. And so, again, good luck. So let's see what these numbers would look like if we take a typical amplifier used in a final in the transmitter. I'm going to run it saturated for FM. I get 65 watts. If I look at where the 1 dB gain compression is on this amplifier, maybe about 50 watts. So if I'm running single sideband, I may in fact run it up to that 1 dB gain compression point at 50 watts peak, PEP. For this same amplifier, if I want to run analog video through it and don't have any compression on the sync pulse, so I'm back into much more linear range, I'm going to rate that probably at about 25 watts. Because again, that's going to be peak envelope power at 25 watts. I mean, the average power would be less than that. For digital TV, for this same amplifier, we're going to get 10 watts RMS out of that. So what that means is we're going to need a minimum of 8 dB headroom in this amplifier to accommodate the peaks in that noise-like digital signal. So these are some typical amplifiers that I build. The one on the left is a high power version, putting out 10 watts RMS for digital. Actually about 65 to 70 watts if you used it in the FM service. And this would typically be used for base stations and repeaters. The amplifier on the right is a medium power amplifier putting out 3 watts, and we use these primarily for portable service in the ARES, where they're running off of batteries and you don't want to supply as much current as required by the other high power amplifier, especially if you're carrying that battery in your backpack. I do have amplifiers for all 3 bands of 70, 33, and 23 centimeters, and they all have at least 50 dB of gain, and they have adjustable power levels where you can drop the power by 5 to 10 dB. I want to thank Grant Hooper, KB7 WSD, for inviting me to talk to you today. Grant and Vicki were visitors in our home on Maui for the Maui Ham Club Christmas picnic and barbecue a couple of years ago.
And of course, I'd like to say thank you very, very much for the Amateur Television Network, the Amateur Radio Emergency Data Network, or ARDN. We'd like to also thank Boulder County Amateur Radio Services, British Amateur Television Club, the Radio Amateur Satellite Corporation, the San Bernardino Microwave Society, YouTube, Art Towsley, WA8RMC, Farrell Winder, W8ZCF, Gary Heston, W6KVC, Jim Andrews, KH6HTV, Kevin Jacobson, AD7OI, and Steve Estes, KB7KWK, for their contributions to this presentation. For more information, you can always contact us through the Amateur Television Network through our website, www.atn-tv.com. You can also contact one of us if you need more information. So you can see that right on the screen. So remember, hams love to be seen and heard. And of course, with amateur television, you won't be left behind. Just get on ATV. Thank you very much for watching, and we're here to answer your questions.
Okay.
And there you have it.
Excellent.
And
that was great, Roland.
thank you, David.
Everybody, I muted you guys because there was a lot of noise during the video. So, if you want to speak now for the questions and answers, you're going to have to unmute yourself. I can't unmute you. I can only ask that you unmute. So, I'm doing that right now verbally. All right. Let's see. Let me click. Let me see. Whoa. Let's turn off the amateur television view here.
That was me.
No problem.
Oh, very good.
No problem. There we are. Everybody's together now.
And so what I did, kind of the special situation is, I basically brought that presentation onto the amateur television network itself. And so this way that you get to see what the quality is now, currently, because that's going to change within the next couple of months, where you're going to be seeing some beautiful looking pictures, and it's going to look absolutely gorgeous.
We're getting closer to real high def.
Yes, we are.
Oh, good to hear.
Aren't we, Mike? Look at that smile. I love it. No, a lot of our current ATVers are very they're on board with this, and we'll be ordering at least 20 or more new receivers for people. So, which is great.
Okay, and that's interesting. The Arden net is something our club has a presence in, a small presence anyway, and we have 2 or 3 different members that have connections to that, and our EOC in Banning also has a connection to Arden net. So that's an interesting part of it, and also DMR. I saw that you mentioned DMR as something else that I'm become interested in. So I'm going to definitely put the 9410 talk group in my talk group list.
I definitely recommend it, and
Okay.
this is something that I wish for a long time, on how to connect other ATVers throughout the country, and we found an open source system here, which is DMR radio.
Right.
And I was never really a D-Star fan. I was never a System Fusion fan, because they were just so proprietary. And so when, it was kind of funny, because one of our ATVers, Bob Kneebone, he acquired a DMR radio, and it sounded like he was talking Greek to me. I'm like, what in the heck is DMR radio? I never heard of it before. And so I decided to dive in the deep end of the pool, and I went to HRO and bought one. And, they say the best way to learn it is to just, play with it.
Yep.
And once I learned the capabilities of it, I said to myself, we have just now connected ATVers from around the world by using 9410 ATV Talk through the Brandmeister network. That's where we're at.
Right. Yeah, that's the way I'm connected as well.
Very good.
Yeah,
Very good.
Great deal. Okay, and those were my comments and questions, I guess. So there are other members that probably have questions.
So if you have any technical questions, Mike definitely will answer those questions for you. And of course, Jim, KH6HTV, he's also on board. Right. And we'd love to answer your questions.
Okay, I'm going to have you guys raise your hand. Anybody that has a question.
Could you eliminate the ATN screen now and
sure.
Everybody?
I can do that.
Okay, thanks. Okay.
How's that? Did it go away?
Oh, it's still there.
Okay. How about now? Leave meeting and gone.
Oh,
there we go.
That worked. Okay.
Worked.
Fortunately, you're still here. I was going to say, I think I could have kicked it probably. Okay. All right. So, who has a question? DJ, is that? I see your hand.
Yeah, I got a question.
Go ahead, DJ.
So, before you transmit, how do you know if someone's transmitting, or so you don't step on them on the network?
Good question.
Well, basically, there's just kind of a handful of us. We get about like 15 to 20 people on our nets, and usually it's just more of a common courtesy. We're like a big family, which is really, really cool. And so usually what happens is that we'll turn on our downconverters or receivers, depending on your location, and we'll see either the beacon will be on or blank screen if the beacon's off. And we just simply either announce our presence either through our 2-meter voice frequency, which is on our subcarrier on the ATV repeater system, and also the 1.2 repeater that we have as well for ATV members, ATN members. And of course, we have repeaters throughout the area at Ord Mountain over by Barstow area. We have a repeater up in Mount Wilson. So we do have repeater sites. And what they usually do is they announce their presence, and they're going to fire up their ATV signal, or they just simply if there's no one on, they just fire up their ATV signal, and they just say, just like a typical announcement QSO, KC6JPG, and then they'll flash their graphics on, and we're monitoring. And then usually I'll see a guy in a rocking chair, or some guy playing with a fish, which is Mark over in Oak Hills. And so we're a cast of characters, that's for sure. And I recommend that you watch us either on YouTube or especially on Whereby if you like to communicate and be on the air with us through our Whereby network. And it's a big, huge party. It's a lot of fun on Tuesday nights, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And what we do is we do a formal part of the net, which is we have bulletins and announcements, check-ins, and Don Wilbanks, AE5DW, does his amateur radio newsline for us.
Wow.
It's great. Cool. And then, of course, we open up for any comments, questions, or late member check-ins. And then of course, I try to finish it within the hour. And then from 8:30 until about 9:30, 10 o'clock, we'll have a roundtable on the Whereby, which is on our online IP system. And so we'll pick a topic like what was your first AM radio station you ever listened to? Or, and of course, last Tuesday, we talked about our DVB-T project. And a lot of people are just so on board with the high definition movement. And so it really got some people excited about it. I'm very excited about it. So this way that, I can match whether it be 720 or 1080, I can match numbers now, and the pictures will look beautiful. So looking forward to it. The only downside about going digital is there is going to be a little bit of a latency. So it can range from anywhere from 150 milliseconds to up to about 500 milliseconds, depending on conditions and depending on what kind of constellation you'll be transmitting on, whether it be on QPSK or 16 QAM, that type of situation. Other than that, the beautiful pictures is going to speak for itself, hoping to attract the new amateur radio operators out there to come on board with us on amateur television.
Excellent.
And the only comment I was going to make real quick, in Arizona, Nevada, and California, we're using crossband so that you can see what's on the repeater, and then if there's nobody on there, then you can turn your transmitter on. So we're full duplex. And in Jim's situation, he can tell you what's going on in Boulder. Jim, do you want to let the crowd know how you do things there? Over.
Okay, well, we don't. Are you hearing me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, perfectly.
Okay. Well, we don't have a link system here. We just have a single repeater that it covers basically from the Denver area north almost to Cheyenne, Wyoming. And we've been on the air for 5 years. 5 years now with high definition 1080p digital TV. They've got a much bigger can of worms to work with there in ATN with a huge number of repeaters to cross over and link up and change from analog to digital. So they've got a much bigger project there.
Are you using the same bands for analog and now digital, or are you switching things around?
Yes, same frequencies. For example, the closest repeater for the two repeaters that would serve the Banning Pass area would be Santiago Peak and Snow Peak. Snow Peak used to be on 1241.25 with upper vestigial sideband for the output, and so the users on that system decided to go digital earlier. And so that was our first output. So they're on 1242.0, which, because you use center channel for a digital signal and video carrier frequency for a vestigial sideband television. FM, you use center channel, even though it's analog. That's just how that's done. So, and now we did reduce the bandwidth because of an issue with a radar station out at San Clemente Island that was on 1247 megahertz. And when we were running analog, the oral carrier was about 12 dB less power than the visual. So most of the time we weren't bothering that radar because there was a little bit of the Santa Ana Mountains in the way. But we were worried that when we ran, because digital, as you saw in that spectrum analysis, you get full power across the bandpass. We didn't want to light their radar up. So we decided, well, we could do it on 4 megahertz. The rest of our repeaters, I think, will do 6 megahertz on the output with the digital. And we're getting ready to
probably didn't want them to have a missile since coming right back at your repeater site either.
If you're incoming, problem.
Well,
so there's a different band for input, though, right? Or is it 1.2?
Right, now,
no.
Right. Inputs, all of our repeaters have the same input frequency, whether they're in California, Nevada, or Arizona. And we, for 70 centimeters, 434.0 for the video carrier. Also, that's the center channel frequency for the 2 megahertz wide DVB-T.
And that's where you need an AM transmitter, basically?
Well, or better yet, to filter part of that lower sideband off.
Oh, okay.
And work that. The other input is 2441.5 FM video. So you can use either AM or FM on either of those 2 bands.
Oh, okay.
And the repeater outputs are on 1200 megahertz, with the sole exception of Oat Mountain, which is on 919.25. Now, 2 of our repeaters also have a microwave output. Santiago has FM on 5910 with 25 watts. The 9 dB Omni, it gets out quite well. Jim's also got a 5.9 gigahertz output. I think it's 5905, I think, Jim. And it's amazing what you can do on the higher microwave frequencies. But we use the FM output on Santiago not only for the users, but our other repeaters that are around Santiago Peak, like, for example, at Snow Peak, we have a 5910 receiver. Well, we've got multiple sub-carriers. I put our 2-way radio audio from our voice repeater system, goes on a 6.8 sub-carrier, and I use that for interconnecting our voice repeater and command and control systems, and the television audio is on 6.2. The other nice thing with the FM, we're not limited with an oral carrier 4.5 megahertz above the visual. Because with that, you're limited to about a maximum of about a 4 megahertz bandpass for the video. With the FM, not only do you have the better signal to noise ratio at lesser signal levels than you need for AM for the same, signal to noise ratio, we have 5.2 megahertz video bandwidth, so we can support up to about 600 line resolution. And some of the converters that convert analog to digital will do real well. In the case of, everybody says, oh, they used to think, well, analog television was 480 lines. The PAL system in Europe was closer to that because they had a 5 megahertz bandpass, but because their sound carriers were at 5.5 or 6 megahertz. But our actual resolution on broadcast television was closer to 380 lines because of that 4 meg bandpass. So that made quite a drop in resolution. Anyway, I've got another meeting I got to go to in about 3 or 4 minutes. So if anybody else has a question for me, I would be very glad to answer it. Then I'm going to bow out, and nice seeing everybody here.
Well, thanks. And so are there any other technical questions for Mike? Or, okay. All right. Well, I don't know. Are there? Okay, we have Jim. Did you raise your hand?
No, I was waving to Mike.
And Jim is I would say he's more the true engineer. He's got the degrees and more experience than I do with doing a lot of engineering. So he's very well suited to answer any question you have about television.
Okay.
That's technical.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, it's nice that we have the alternative of checking you guys out on the internet, because that certainly at least gives you an idea what it's all about. And I'd be interested to see the net. I'm kind of curious what it's like.
You folks in the Banning Pass are very blessed because you have 2 strong repeater footprints over your area. And then as you go further east, then at the time you get to about 22nd Street in Banning, you start losing line of sight to Santiago unless you got like a 40 or 50 foot tower. Right. But Snow Peak will take you line of sight down to Casino Morongo, and then it covers Desert Hot Springs, and then along it covers well along the 111 down in the populated areas, and then along the Interstate 10. Once you get to Monterey, then you're back visual line of sight. But the DVB-T signal gets you into areas that you'd have a very poor analog signal. We have one station in the Cathedral City Cove with an 800-foot chunk of dirt in the way. He gets the picture P5 and gets in P5.
Nice.
His son lives in the other end of town, and there's a ridge about 800 or 900 feet lower in altitude than the repeater, but really close to the repeater. And he's in the shadow there, but he still gets a good picture. And I ran mobile with a mobile whip going down the interstate when I went to the Yuma Ham Fest, and I was able to get the repeater all the way down to where the sand dunes are at. Wow. When you go east on I-8, as soon as you start hitting the sand dunes and get dropped down the other side in towards Yuma, it pretty much went out. But there was a couple of spots that tried to lock in, but we have very good range down that direction.
Excellent, excellent. Wow. Okay.
Okay, well, I got to run. I've got to get
Mike.
to.
We appreciate your input.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ed's got a question. Ed's got a question.
Go ahead. Ed.
Go ahead.
Thanks. Just a couple of questions. Are you guys normally running Yagis, or do you run dishes?
We normally run on Yagis. I pointed towards the repeater, and the reason being is because this definitely helps regarding multipath when you use a vertical.
Well, so a lot depends on what band you're on too. If you're talking about the 2.4 gigahertz input, we usually use a small part 15, like conifer dish, like similar to what's used for some of the mesh dishes on 2.0. Now in the 70 centimeters and the 1200 outputs, typically Yagis, although you can use dishes at 1200 megahertz, but you're at the point where a conifer dish, it's about almost 3 feet wide, almost 2 feet tall. That size dish, if you put a 1200 megahertz speed horn, there's some companies that make those dishes for 1200 megahertz. That'll have about the same gain as a 24 element loop Yagi antenna, and the loop Yagi is a little less noticeable. Anyway, I got to run, fellas.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Take care. Have a good night.
Roland and Jim will be able to help you with everything you have there.
Okay.
And they can give you my contact information, and I'll be glad to come out and give you guys a hand, and I'm sure Roland probably would too.
Okay.
73.
Great. Thanks, Mike. Take care. All right.
Okay. I got one more, Dave.
Go ahead, Ed. We've got other people to answer.
I think it was Roland mentioned that you were doing a group buy on some receivers. Can you give us an idea what the price is? And
yes.
Is it only available to members, or can non-members get it?
Non-member, well, yeah, members and non-members. This equipment comes from Hi-Des Electronics. They're in Taiwan. And what we're planning on, what I recommend for everyone to get is the HV-120 DVB-T receiver. HV, which is Hotel Victor -120.
Just a moment, Roland.
Yeah.
I had bad news on that. I think I shared with you last week that they have discontinued the 120.
Well, Mike talked to Calvin, And he said if we can get at least 20 orders, they can remanufacture the boards.
Oh, okay. So that's new news this week then.
Yes. Yeah, he's been chiming in with Calvin. Calvin E is our contact over at High Des. And we were pretty disappointed when we found out that the 120 was going to be discontinued just because of lack of orders. And I said, well, wait a minute. So Mike chimed in and said that, well, what do we need to do to get these kind of receivers? Because what we're looking for is the 1.2, since it's going to be outputting 1.2 with SAW filtering. Very, very important. And so with that SAW filtering, because they do make the 122, and the 122 is a diversity receiver. Well, that's fine if you're flying a drone and you're in motion, but we really don't need that for ATV. And so they're willing to make those boards, and they're going to have 2 SMAs, one for the lower bands from the 70 centimeter band all the way up to 900, I believe 900 megahertz, if I remember right.
Yeah, it goes to 950.
950. And then the other band will be in the 1.2 range.
So are they going to be charging the same price, or?
Well, the retail is $209, and we're supposed to get a 15% plus what, and of course, quantity discount. So we will let you guys know what is going to be our real price. Okay. So if you want to just, you can write down Mike Collis's email address, which is his call sign, WA6SVT. Serious video technician.
Mike, okay.
And of course, Jim is the hot television, because he's a hot man. So at gmail.com.
Oh.
And so you can just simply chime with him and let him know that you're interested. And then that way he'll chime with me, and then I'll be tallying all the orders up and then send a wire transfer and take it from there.
Okay, we'll see what interest we get, and we'll let you know.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, I'd be interested.
Excellent.
Very good. I totally recommend it. And Snow Peak is already on DVB-T already. That's our first repeat.
Right. That would be our the closest one.
Yep, and that would be your closest one. And that's the perfect way to start watching one of our repeaters is by ordering the HV 120.
Okay.
DJ, do you have interest in this too?
Oh, yeah.
Just curious. Okay.
Yeah.
He's probably on top of Snow Peak. He's got such a great location. He's basically me. I've got houses between me and Snow Peak, but I think I can make it work anyway. Okay.
And of course, the biggest acquisition that we got is our mobile ENG van. Basically, it's got a 30-foot mast on it, and of course, we acquired it back in 2018, and we acquired it from the Red Rocks amateur radio, Red Rocks Search and Rescue team over in Las Vegas. And it was acquired by the Las Vegas Amateur Radio Club. And both entities basically says, well, we're not using it. It's just sitting here. We're just, plucking money away to keep it up and just not being used. And so Mike chimed in with me because I told him ever since I got started with ATV, I said, we need an ATV truck. You know that. He says, yeah, right, Roland. Good luck on that. And I figured that with his, CBS, working at CBS, I figured that they're going to dispose of one of them and they can donate it to Amateur Television Network, right? Well, of course, he chimed in two years ago and he goes, Roland, how would you like to have an ATV truck? And I said, what kind? He says, GMC 2500 with a 30-foot mast, ENG truck. And I went, you're answering my dream, Mike. What do we need to do? He says, they said, make offer. I said, make offer? Okay. I got it, Mike.
Wow.
Free.
Wow.
So, of course, Mike's reaction. Yeah, I'm going to tell him free. And I said, no. Think about it. They're donating to a nonprofit organization. Just all they say that, whatever the truck is worth, just let you know, we write a letter and they write it off on their taxes. And they'll go, well, I'll try it. The next day he calls me up, Roland, when do you want to pick up the truck? So I drove him over to Las Vegas, met with Frank. He's an ATVer over at Mount Potosi. He transmits on Mount Potosi, and made the deal. And so I was following Mike, driving it back to make sure that he gets home safely, because that truck hasn't been ran in a long way, in a very long time. And so he made it, and so we did extensive maintenance work on it, on the engine, changing out all of the fluids and doing some repairs, and then took it over to my buddy Ricky's, got it repainted this color blue, yay. And it looks beautiful. We just got the paint job done about 4 or 5 months ago. And now it's up at Mike's house. It's probably buried in snow right now. But as soon as the snow melts, we're going to be putting the dish back up. We just put a new feed in it for 1.2 and 2.4 gigs. And we're going to outfit it with digital as well as analog, because we'll still have our legacy inputs for everybody. That's very important, because there's so much used surplus gear out there for ATV. And of course, a lot of our senior members, they really don't want to change. And so we told them, not a problem. If you don't want to change over to we recommend that you at least get a receiver so you can see the digital picture coming back. But we'll leave the legacy analogs, the FM, as well as the AM 434, AM 2.4 FM still intact. So this way they can still use their old equipment.
Sure.
Because that's important. That's important.
The Amateur Television Network, is that basically a club?
It's basically a club.
Do you have any members do you have?
Oh my gosh. I say we have about, with our chapters that we have around the country, it can be around 100, 150, basically.
Wow. Okay.
So, of course, the Southern California chapter, that's one of our most popular. And, because with the link repeaters that we have here with Oat Mountain over in San Fernando Valley and Snow Peak by your area.
Mm-hmm.
And let me close this out, because what I was trying to do, I was trying to plug into the my production system so you guys can see some of the repeaters in action. And so with that being said, of course, we have Mount Wilson and Job's Peak. That's Mike's QTH, and Job's Peak acts as a relay, also as a repeater and a relay going to Ord Mountain over by Barstow area, and then it relays to Mount Potosi, serving Las Vegas.
Wow!
And so in the future, we are planning on having a link. We're going to try an IP link going from Snow Peak going into White Tank Mountain, because there's 4 repeaters out there in the Arizona area, which is White Tank serving Phoenix, Mesa. We have a Mesa system that's run by Rod. That's the person that you saw in the video.
Mm-hmm.
And WB9KMO. And we have Mountain Lemon over by Tucson, and then Greens Peak over by Northeast Arizona. And we did have one ATVer out there in Greens Peak, but now it's a lonely repeater.
Oh, that's no good.
Oh no, we'll be attracting
somebody will come up. I'm sure you'll have.
Oh yeah. And the great thing is that we've been doing these Zoom demos, and I think this has just been absolutely fantastic, especially during the pandemic. I'm so glad that we're seeing some positive light, and things are going to start, returning, back to what we call a new normal.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, Fry's is closed now. I can't run over there for emergency switch, emergency router or emergency switch. I'll have to order through Amazon. That's okay. or Newegg.
There's still Micro Center.
Yes, it is.
Drive to Tustin, I
guess. But no, it's been great, because we've been attracting people, especially in our whereby system. This is the perfect starting point for people that really want to experience amateur television, but are like, well, I don't want to spend $1,000 with low loss coax, beams, and receiving stations and transmit stations, because when you're doing crossband repeat, you got to set up a receiving station, and then a transmit station. So you have 2 stations that interacting with each other in amateur television here in Southern California area. And of course, some of the repeaters out there, like I said, they transmit either on the 426.25 or 439.25. And what's really cool is if you have an old standard definition television set that's been sitting around for years and not doing anything, well, guess what? Just put a beam antenna on it and then just low loss coax right into that F jack, turn it on channel 60 for 439 or 434 on channel 59, and you'll be able to see some ATV action that way. That's another cheap way of going. If they're not, if they have an analog.
That's analog, right? Okay.
Yeah, but that's
you're
analog.
You're talking about an old school UHF TV.
Yep, yeah. That's if because there are some repeaters that are what I call digital or what I call hybrids.
Right.
So they're actually doing like digital in, digital out with an optional analog out on a different band. So this way that it's kind of like an intro way of, just get an old TV set, get your 440 and beam antenna that you might have on your roof and plug it in and see what you get.
That's interesting. That's kind of cool. Okay, any other questions from our club membership? So let's see, Mike scratching his ear.
I mesmerized them all.
I think you did.
But no, as a matter of fact, if you want to be checked in with the last man standing, just raise your hands, and I will definitely include you in my log as a video contact. And K6M is my 1x1 bonus. So if you want to play along and join in on the group, we definitely recommend it. Stations have been reporting 200, 300 contacts per session, like 2 hours, 3 hours at a time. Wow. And so when I'm off the Zoom call, I have a station right now that's on our whereby system that's basically monitoring the bands and having a lot of fun with the going QRT with a bang. So
that's very cool.
And it's been a lot of fun so far. I checked in 10 video check-ins so far during the. We started back in on Tuesday after the net, and it's going to continue on until Tuesday. So, which is going to be a lot of fun.
Excellent. Okay. Well, I think we're done with questions. We'll have to go ahead and finish our meeting.
Sounds good.
Actually, we at this point I think we're going to go ahead and have a break. This is what we normally do about halfway through our meeting. We're probably a little further than that, but we'll have a break here, and then we'll finish with our regular meeting business. So let's say we reconvene here at about, I don't know, 20 minutes after? Was that enough time for you guys? 7 minutes, 8 minutes?
2020.
2020. Let's do it. 2020 is the comeback time, guys. I'm going to mute myself, and then I'll be right back myself.
And of course, if you guys have any more questions during the break, I will hang around. And of course, is Jim still here? I think he left. Okay, but I'll hang around. So if you guys all of a sudden you had that beverage or a little snack, and all of a sudden, I had a question. You can just raise your hand, and I can definitely answer.
Ed, M6SPY. Can't hear me.
Well, for those of you just kind of waiting around and want to see a little view, you're seeing ATV repeaters that are live around the world. And those are the systems that are streaming currently. And so if you look onto the top preview program, you'll see the WA6SVT, Santiago Peak Repeater System. And then if you look on the very far left, that's our source. That's circled in red. That's the W6ATN. And then right next to it is the W6CX Mount Diablo repeater system. And then you see Jim, K6SOE, and he's running a net at the moment. Source 3 is an amateur television network chapter known as K6SVR and Silicon Valley repeater located in San Jose. Input 4 is W7ATN in Mesa over in Arizona. And then of course our ATN color bars is being generated by our Arden system. That's on input 5. And let me do a little minimization here. There we go. Input 6 is one of our ATVers over in Oceanside, KD6ILO. And then we go to Central California, N6BYH. And now we go across the world into Sydney, and a lot of them are not streaming at the moment. But you do see Staffordshire over in Great Britain, GB3UD, as well as over at Great Grimsby, GB3GG. And then over in Lance, GB3FT, also in Great Britain. And of course, we do have a Berlin, Germany station that streams on occasion, DB0BC. And quite interesting. And then of course, then we have ON0C TV. That's also in Germany as well. But this is our master control. And so when we do nets, we can actually have them participate and we can bring them on the air to everywhere.
Roland, question?
Yes.
I have a FT2DR with a camera mic. Is that interfaceable?
FT2DR?
Correct.
That's a Yaesu?
That's correct.
Okay. In regards to camera interface, I don't think so.
Just wondered.
When you say camera interface, is in other words, if someone has another FT2DR radio, are you able to see each other?
Correct.
Oh. And that's on what, on 2 meters, 440, or?
It can be on 2 meters or 70 centimeters.
Okay, interesting.
And the resolution is 480.
And the resolution is 480. You know what? I would try it. Try 434.0 and put a beam antenna and shoot it over to Santiago.
All right.
See if we see you. I'm kind of curious.
All right. Thank you.
Maybe you're welcome.
Very cool. Earl lives in Hemet, so maybe he'll have a chance at.
Hey,
Probably has a pretty
muted.
good chance. Oops. Earl's in Hemet, so
There you go.
he has a pretty good shot, probably at Santiago Peak.
Oh yeah, and Hemet. Oh yeah, you'll be line of sight.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay, where are we now? We're almost there. 1 minute. Okay. I got to stay true to my word. Give them the 50 seconds we have left here. Everybody can come back. I hear Flip's back. I can hear his squeal.
I don't know what's causing that, to be honest with you. I have no idea.
It's okay. Just the dogs in the audience are going to hear it. So I just happen to have ears like a dog.
No comment.
They're not floppy like a dog, but. So cool. Let's go. Let's see. Oh, it's time. It's 20 minutes after, so everybody should be back now. And yeah, let's see. We're going to go ahead and continue with our program. Basically, let's make a motion here to accept the minutes. I assume everybody looked at the minutes that Jeff sent out earlier for the last meeting.
I make a motion we accept the minutes from February.
Thank you, Sam.
I second it.
Thank you, Flip. Everybody that agrees, say aye. Any disagreeers? Okay, I think we're good to go. And we have Treasurer's Report. Mike, what do you got? Mike, unmute yourself. There we go.
We have $5,983.32.
Wow. Okay, that's very close to last year or last month. A little bit more. I guess somebody paid their dues. Very
I got
cool.
about $60 more to put in the bank, but I'll put it in tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Excellent. Did that order and everything go through with the equipment?
He's got 2 UPS orders. They're being shipped down right now. Maybe they'll come in. Hopefully I'll get one tomorrow, maybe one Saturday.
So you already got the money to them and everything, and you guys got the right price and everything. Good.
Yeah, we got it all straightened out.
Excellent. Thanks, Mike. All right, and next would be Director at Large, DJ. What you got for next month? DJ's still muted.
I'm supposed to tell you guys right now because I got nothing yet.
Oh, okay, okay.
But I want to thank Roland. Roland, thank you very much for your presentation.
Oh, you are very, very welcome. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
DJ's the guy that puts together our meeting agendas. So
very interesting.
Yeah, it's just a good one. I really, in fact, it's a lot better than I thought it would be. Just because I don't know, I didn't expect much, I guess. And then let's see, who's next? What's next? DJ, you got anything else?
Well, I think we old business from last month was the field day committee. If the club was going to put one together.
Very good point.
It may even have to be something. We're obviously like this. It's Lent, so I noticed a lot of our Catholic friends are missing. We may have to put an email out and ask for a committee since
today is Lent. Is that what you're saying? No.
Well, yeah. Well, it's that time of year.
Oh, okay.
What, Easter's 2 weeks.
You're talking about field day?
I'm talking about field day. Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, we have to put together a committee. I think we're going to have a board meeting and come up with something. I don't know. Can we do that now? I guess we can do that now. I know, DJ, you're going to be doing your honeymoon, or not honeymoon. You're going to be doing your anniversary.
Pretty much all of June is gone.
All of June is gone for you, right? So, because we usually try to recruit DJ for helping us on that. He's still going to have to help us probably turn in our points and stuff. Are there any volunteers that would like to help with field day this year? Anybody, please? I see Steve raised his hand for a second there. Anybody else? I've got a quick eye. Sam, I saw Sam bring his hand up. Sam and Steve. I know Steve is probably the best contact if we're going to do it over at the Dysart Park. Do you still have contact over there with somebody in Banding, Steve, for the use of the park? Okay. I saw his head shake before he went black.
Unmute yourself, Steve.
Yeah, you're muted.
I just was unmuting myself. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm using a mouse with an iPad mini, and I'm getting used to it. It's wonderful to have the thing far enough away that it's not eating me up. Anyway, I don't really have a contact. Heidi was there. She has retired.
Right.
She's still here in Banning. So it's somebody new. The city is getting a little more
Is it Heidi that you dealt with last year? Because I know that.
No, the year before last.
Right.
Year before
last year,
And
we had a contact though last year.
We had a contact there, yeah, and we just have to play their game.
Okay.
And
it's just
the city's getting a little, yeah.
I know that they're getting real picky and everything, and we still carry our club insurance just for that one day a year.
That's correct.
So we like to be able to use it.
Yeah.
You know, this year, last year we actually did do a field day, but we didn't have a lot of attendance, but because of the COVID thing. But a lot of people wanted to do it from home, and they gave us that option, so that worked out pretty well.
Sam's got his hand up.
And we still have that option this year. Go ahead, Sam.
So what's the dates? Because if you're going to need something from races, I better get it in.
You're talking about field day dates, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm not prepared.
What's that? It's basically a permit, but it's something else we call it.
2021 field day.
An incident number.
Incident number, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, June 26th.
And 27th.
And the 27th. Yeah, you get an incident from them. And we also try to, you two volunteers, we try to contact the local police, and I don't know what's going to be like in June, whether we'll be able to do a physical field day or not, but we like to contact the local, you know, and the mayors, try to invite them to field days so we can have, get the extra points. I'm sure you all know about that.
Show up for face masks.
What's that?
Maybe the politicians will show up for face masks.
What are you saying? We should give away face masks? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, give them face masks. Maybe that would bring them. You know, they always like giveaways, you know, freebies.
Maybe we'll have to get some SPARC face masks or something. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That'll help.
SPARC face masks.
Good idea.
All right. Well, I'm going to go past field day, but thank you guys for volunteering. I'm writing down your names right now. Ed? No, it wasn't Ed. It was Steve. Was it Ed? No.
It was SS, Steve and Sam.
Sam, that's right. Sam. All right. Field day, guys. Steve and Sam. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Let's move forward. Error, VE testing. That would be Pete. Are you there, Pete?
Oh, he's not here.
He's not here.
Catholic.
Okay, well, let me just look real quick at our website. We have field day, or we have our testing schedule. It shows that April 24th is our next testing session, Saturday at the hospital, and 9 a.m. And so we have, we'll be getting together. At least we'll be talking about. I'm not sure if that's after the general meeting or not. In any case, we normally send out emails to all the volunteer examiners, and just to find out who's interested in that session, and anybody that's interested in upgrading their license. And April 24th is a good time for you. That'll be the day we're doing our testing. Okay.
22nd is the meeting.
22nd?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the meeting will be before that day. That's good.
What meeting?
Our club meeting for next month.
Every club meeting.
It's the 22nd, I guess.
That's the 4th. That's the one, isn't it?
Fourth Thursday. And so Pete, I took care of Pete. And Mike, you got anything about Aries? Any news?
Yeah, we're going to run they got a training on Saturday. I'll get the link over to Jeff as soon as they give it to me, and anybody that's interested. It's basically they're going to talk about how to do a resource net, and either you gotta be sure yourself either is available, green, If you're going to wait for a while, it's yellow. If you can't do it at all, you're going to stay at home, it's like a red. But then you got to hang on the net, and then they'll talk to you a little more. I'm so used to hitting on the net and just going away.
Right.
I screwed up the last time I got on there, and I realized after, I said, oh man, I should have been sitting around there. So now I got to behave myself this time.
You actually have to listen for a while, huh? Hang out.
Yeah.
That's important. Okay.
Sounds to me like you're getting away from plain text.
Well, thanks, Mike. How about Steve, racies? Is there anything with racies going on, Steve?
Yeah, the latest is that we may have our that Miss Edna, Mount Edna repeater may be moving to Ranger Peak, which is up by Vista Grande. Nothing definite on it, but the state, whoever owns the site where Miss Edna lives now, has raised the rent to $1,100 per month.
Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah, and so we're looking at something new. Harold K6TQM out in the desert is our deputy chief, and he's ramrodding this, the move wherever we go. Right now, the county is going to pony up for a couple of months, and so we knock on wood that we get a new site.
That's expensive. That's an expensive repeater. I mean, considering how much usage it gets.
Yeah, personally, I would like to see it up on what is called Barton Peak, which is a former Forest Service lookout tower, and it has excellent visibility into the desert and doesn't get into, and it will probably not get into Orange County, which is one of the problems with Ranger Peak.
Okay, so they're proposing Ranger Peak. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I think they're proposing Ranger Peak. Yeah,
and it's
going. I mean, it's a good site.
Cover Orange County. That's interesting. Okay.
It will get into Orange County. Yeah, and 2 or 3 years ago, it was being considered, and I went up there and just took a handheld and a rubber duck, and I was able to talk with Sam, who was in really what should have been the shadow of the repeater.
That doesn't make a lot of sense because there's another repeater up in Orange County in the same pair, right?
It's on the same pair, but we probably would have to use
a different
tone squelch.
Right. Well, we already are, but yeah.
No, I mean tone squelch, so we don't cause problems for Orange County.
Right. We'd have to use tone squelch on the output as well.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Tone on the output. All right.
So anyway, that's it. And I believe we have a meeting. Sam can confirm a quarterly meeting in April. So we should know more by then.
Excellent.
Yeah.
The 21st is the RCRC, and then
the
neck board is on the 7th.
Okay,
more
RCRC.
Information after that, huh? Excellent.
Okay.
But
all right.
That's
it. Yeah.
The county is going to move it.
Yeah.
They're not going to pay $1,100.
I'm not surprised by that one. All right. So, Steve, emergency comm. I don't know. Is there anything extra you got, Steve, on that?
No, I have nothing extra. I think I tried to pass that off on to somebody else.
Yeah, but it has a question mark after your name, so maybe.
Yeah, it has a question mark. Yeah, we've got to find another sucker.
Nobody wants to go to those PASCOM meetings. How many? There's only one a month, right?
Yeah, one a month. I believe it's on Tuesday.
Is there anybody that wants to volunteer to become our PASCOM?
I do PASCOM all the time.
Oh, I will.
Sam, I'm going to make
Sam goes. Yeah.
Jeff, make a note. Emergency comm now goes to Sam.
One thing about PASCOM is that, and I think Sam should be able to confirm, is that they do have junk food and coffee.
Wow.
At the meeting, so
that's important.
It's very important.
And we have very good programs for each meeting too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Maybe we'll put emergency comm and PASCOM as one category because I don't really understand the distinction. Adjournment. Okay, so I think we're pretty much there. Is there anybody that has additional questions or any kind of traffic for the net? Traffic for the meeting tonight? Yeah.
Go
ahead, Sam.
For Rod's service.
Yeah.
Service for his get together and remembrance. Probably
yes.
nice if we all wore our shirts.
Rob Ivy. Yes, everybody should have gotten an email regarding the service for Rod Ivy. What was his call sign? I should know this.
Something HVT.
Yeah, HVT. Nobody, you know, it's the first picture I saw when I saw that email. It's the first time I actually saw a picture of Rod. And he has been a club member for many years.
Yep.
But I personally never met him. He worked at a tack shop up there in Cherry Valley.
Yeah, it's a pretty big building.
Yep. I talked to him one night about his business. It was pretty interesting. Anyway, his all the information about his service. He died about a year ago, and the service is finally happening. So that we did distribute emails regarding that. If you're interested, anybody that wants to go, make sure to wear your club T-shirt or your club shirt, not T-shirt, your club collared shirt. All right. Anything else? Anybody else have anything else you want to bring up before we end this thing? Okay, I think we did okay, I guess. We didn't quite make it till 9 o'clock, but it's not required. You guys are so quiet, you're making me nervous.
You're awful quiet tonight, John.
John, what you got to say? John's got he's muted, that's why he's so quiet.
He's muted, he can say what he wants.
I can't fix that. You got to unmute yourself if you guys want to speak up.
Hey, Larry, have you been sick? You look like you lost your tan.
No, still been out and about.
Okay.
Larry,
hitting those casinos and hitting the restaurants and so forth. And
what's it like
even
over there?
planning a trip pretty soon.
What's it like over there at Morongo? Is it busy?
I don't go there. We went down to Fantasy.
Oh.
I don't like Morongo.
Do you ever go to the one in San Bernardino?
No, I can't stand that one.
Oh, really? Okay. I was just curious because
I've been there, but I'm not fond of. I'm not fond of any of them. My lady friend, she loves them.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good reason then, anyway.
Well, I will say I won $650 playing bingo here a couple of weeks ago.
How much? $650?
Yeah.
Wow.
Still probably behind for the year.
I'm going to say that's probably $6.50.
No. Probably by the time you net it out.
Okay. After taxes. All right. Great. Well, thanks for everybody's attendance tonight. I'm going to go ahead and call this the end of the meeting. So we'll be back for the Wednesday net next week. And if anybody has questions or if anybody has anything, they can always email me if you have any ideas. Email me or email DJ if you have any ideas for future club meetings. We always appreciate that. And I really did enjoy this amateur TV. I enjoyed the one from last month too. They were both very good. I'm kind of wondering if maybe we should find another an expert on digital modes or something like that, and have that. That might be a good one, DJ. If you can find somebody that wants to talk on DMR, maybe a representative from Brandmeister or something. We could find something like that. That'd be really cool. Anyway, okay. See, guys, 7:03. The meeting is now closed. At did I forget anything, Jeff? I think we're good, right?
Looking good.
Okay, we're done here at 20:40 approximately. I will stay up if you guys want to just talk for a little bit. We can stay on for a couple minutes. The meeting is officially over.
Okay. Any word when they're going to be able to meet in person again?
Oh, wow, that's complicated. I think that at this point, we kind of see things are changing, and I think it's going to happen pretty quickly. Here at Sun Lakes, we actually have outdoor dining, which seems like that was overdue, but this kind of looks like they're gearing up to open things up. So,
I think if Larry is talking about club meeting, I mean,
Oh, you mean having a
Yeah, the
face-to-face
club
meeting?
meetings.
Yeah, we couldn't have had a presentation like this at a club. I mean,
No,
these-
that's true.
No, we couldn't.
Well, no, and that's actually right. Unfortunately, we don't have internet access at our meeting venue unless we beg and steal.
yeah, last week was the same situation also. He's up in the San Francisco area.
Yeah. Yeah, but we still have to, I guess, coordinate with Beaumont if we're going to continue to use their facility for our meetings. Is there any chance that we could use the alternate EOC again?
Oh, God.
At least it was a nice private place.
Probably alternating. Well, it's run by the state, so
Oh, it's okay. It's by the
through
fire
Banning,
department. Yeah,
No parking.
the
that's
BC,
true. That's the main problem we had with that place was parking.
BC mentioned that I don't know, somebody said something about it. No, and he says, "This is my house. You guys come in anytime you want." To the radio room.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if in a pinch, I think we could have testing there again. If presuming that they fix the damn fluorescent lights.
Haven't done yet.
I think that's why we stopped having club meetings there. That was the main reason. It's like, what's with this? The lights aren't working anymore. They wouldn't fix them.
Oh, it's the lights, the parking,
Yeah,
dark.
it is. So Sam, are you still in contact with the guys over there in?
Well, they got a new guy. I got to go find out
Beaumont?
who it is.
Okay.
And well,
We
Trying
might
to put-
want to just touch base with them and find out how they feel about
You know-
capacity of the room and all that stuff. If we have to,
well, the county is opening up some, of course.
yeah.
We're not in a growth for COVID-19 or any of the others at this time, as other states are throughout the United States. So
It's going to be month by month, I think, as far as what the answer to that question is when we.
because some of the places that you wouldn't think of it are having a rise with the stuff, and they figure it's probably because people haven't got vaccinated and stuff yet.
Right. We have to wait for things to kind of settle down for sure before there's any chance that that's going to work out. I look forward to it. I'd love to get back together again.
They're talking about opening it up so that most anybody will be eligible now over 14 or 16 for the
shots.
shot.
Yeah, that's good. All right, guys. Is there anybody else that has a question or comment or feedback or anything? Okay.
We'll comment on Edie for doing such a good job.
Edie?
Keeping Earl here.
Yeah. Thank you, Edie, for keeping Earl alive. Oh, Earl stepped away, so she's hearing us all alone.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. 7-3.
Okay.
Everyone.
Alrighty.
And this is the end.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Close this out. I'll close out our YouTube. And thanks everybody on YouTube for checking out our stream. And it's going to be